What's going on my revolutionaries? And if you're new here, welcome to the war. So today we're going to be watching a video titled Kids Today Look Grown. I saw the title, decided to click on it. Let's watch it. I haven't seen it yet, so there's going to be a real-time reaction, but I have to agree with just the title alone. Nowadays, these little kids, man, they don't look like the kids look like when I was growing up. We look like dorks, which is how you're supposed to look like when you're a kid, but let's get into it. Let's see what this creator has to say. And I'm going to have the link to the original video down below somewhere.
The death of tween and teen media has me so sad because all these kids are acting like they're 25.
I look better than your mammy, your sister, your family, your granny.
In high school. I'm in high school. You need to calm down.
I think it's insane how some 17-year-olds look older than 30-year-olds these days. Like, realistically, these girls nowadays look so much older than even me.
Can we stop normalizing 10-year-olds dressing like they're 25?
I kind of feel uncomfortable already watching this because why are these kids dressed like this? These are high school age kids? This is weird. This is real weird. Where the parents at? More specifically, where's the mamas at? Because these are little girls. I know their fathers wouldn't let them walk out like this. Where are the mothers at? And why are the mothers allowing their children to walk out looking like this? My sister could only wear stud earrings when she was a kid. And I know a lot of girls that they couldn't wear hoops because hoops were considered grown woman jewelry. They couldn't wear makeup. They couldn't wear lipstick. At best, they get some lip gloss. That's what it was when I was a kid. These kids right here, and I think one of them was Kanye West's daughter. So maybe Kanye West was right this whole time when he was worried about his kid being around Kim. But what can you expect when you marry a woman who had a sex tape? But let's continue.
I used to look like this when I was like 9 or 10.
I think we lost the plot when kids stopped dressing like this.
JT lip combo.
That is her. Oh my God. That's Kanye West's kid. This is absolutely outrageous. There's no reason she should look like this. Got a grills in her, black, I don't know what kind of grills those are. Face beat to Jesus. She's got bright blue hair. Now, I understand little girls kind of coloring their hair maybe, but you couldn't dye your hair when I was a kid either. Like, there were certain things that weren't open to you until you were a grown adult, or at least a little bit older, like 18, getting close to college age. But the fact that they're letting these little kids do this is shocking to me, and something tells me that it's the mothers. Oh, I didn't even read the whole title of the video. Kids They Look Grown and adult women are normalizing it. Oh, so it is y'all. It's y'all fault. Oh, let's get into it. Now I'm interested.
These are the girls.
You guys decided to post pictures of hairstyles that you deemed age appropriate for 11-year-old girls because you felt that the styles and the barrettes that they had in their hair was just too pubescent. Because God forbid that a child be just too childish. God forbid that children be children, right? No, not in this society, not in this new day and age.
Oh, let's go back.
You deemed age appropriate for...
So this is the hairstyle that they said was too pubescent? Too prepubescent? What are y'all talking about? Ain't this how little girls supposed to look? There's no little girls in my family. We are all boys. The only girl in my household is my sister, and she's like way older than us. So I'm not really around little girls like that. So what is so off about this? You guys have lost the plot, because I think this is what a normal kid looks like. You could tell the mom actually put some work into their kids' hair. They don't look wild out here. It's a nice, simple, age-appropriate hairstyle.
Unfortunately, y'all hate on Northwest because y'all parents were wage slaves that couldn't afford to allow y'all to explore.
Exploring is one thing. And so we're getting to the shaming tactics. People are hating on Northwest because our parents were wage slaves, or could be looking out for her because there's a lot of weirdos out in the world, and she should probably be protecting. She shouldn't be protecting herself. Her parents should be protecting her, more specifically her mother, because Kanye ain't with all that nonsense. Why does it have to get into the shaming tactics? As soon as somebody says, yo, that kid is looking a little too grown, you're like, you broke. There's three main tactics women, especially black women, are going to throw at you. They're going to call you broke, they're going to call you gay, or they're going to say you hate women. It's going to be one of the three, or a combination of the three, one way or another. But why did it have to come to that? And there's a difference between exploring and like doing too much. Exploring is like, you know what? I'll let you pick your nail color. That's exploring, okay? Not having them dress like grown women at a young age. That's not the same thing at all. And the fact that you got to resort to shaming tactics to try to prove your point shows that you really don't have a point to prove. Oh, she got a nose never mind. I thought it was a septum ring for a second. Never mind. These are actually okay, but let's continue.
Self-expression.
In today's world, young girls have increasingly started to look grown beyond their years. And the real question is, why are we enabling it? And by we...
And I love everything they're doing with Northwest. I truly do. She's very expressive. Go ahead, girl.
I mean, some of y'all. Let's rewind the clock just a little bit. As young girls and preteens, how many times did some of us impulsively decide that we wanted to get face piercings or a tattoo sleeve? But then the sparkles in our eyes quickly faded because our parents and caregivers just wouldn't allow it. Or we tried going to the mall in an outfit we had no business putting together at 14.
Wait, how old are y'all?
I'm 14.
And it never saw the light of day.
There is no reason a 14-year-old should be walking out the house looking like that. First off, at 14 years old, what are you doing out the house by yourself anyway in a public area like that? I was raised real sheltered. Let me not say sheltered, but my parents were like, they didn't give me too much freedom as a young kid. And as a kid, I used to be like, man, why is that? Like, my friends are out all over the place. My friends are here, there, whatever. Yeah, a lot of them are dead in jail or have a lot of kids right now. So, I'm not saying that what I had was perfect, but the alternative on the opposite end of the spectrum was pretty bad. I feel like there's a middle ground, but there's no reason that them kids should have been out there at the mall dressed like that at the age of 14. What is wrong with y'all? Like, you guys are just a walking billboard for PDF files out here. Just a walking billboard, and you guys are championing it, I should say. I think I still pronounced that wrong. And you know what really bothers me, what really boggles my mind about all this is, did you guys recognize the race of the women that are defending this? Like the ones that say that they love what they're doing with Northwest, or the ones that called you broke? Like, are you guys catching a pattern here? Because I'm realizing a pattern. It's one I don't want to admit, but let's continue the video. Maybe I'll be proven wrong.
Because again, our parents wouldn't allow it. Or we tried a makeup look that never left the reflection in our bedroom vanity because our parents wouldn't allow it. And with each of these moments, we may have wished to be older, to express ourselves without constraints. But that thought quickly faded the second we turned on Disney Channel and we were reminded to be kids.
You're a woman. No, I'm not. I'm not a woman. I'm 16 years old.
Back in the day, we grew into women at a really slow pace. But what happens when that timeline gets cut short and all of a sudden that last chance at being a kid disappears? The era of the preteen is basically non-existent and social media has replaced it. And because of it, young girls are being influenced to look and act way older than they are. But it gets worse because actual grown women are encouraging it and justifying it under this idea of self-expression.
So again, it's not self-expression. Now, I'm glad this creator is taking this stance because it's not self-expression. What they're doing is I would say damn near immoral to dress your daughters up as a grown woman, like advertising her out to the world. You might think to yourself, we're not advertising her out to the world. If you people out there are weird, then you guys are the weird ones, not us. There's weird people everywhere. You have to protect your children. Parents have to protect their children from the world. And then once they get into the world, yeah, they can make their own decisions and protect themselves. But the fact that these kids don't have these levels of protection anymore by their parents is crazy. And she said something interesting there. When you look at Disney Channel or any sitcom, really, it didn't have to be Disney Channel. You look at like the old family sit-down sitcoms, and you could see kids in a kid's place, not just in attire, but the way they talked, the way they acted, the things that they got into. Nowadays, that mess is gone. Like, there is no like sit-down sitcoms. And I keep saying sit-down sitcoms. There are no sitcoms anymore. Like, we used to get together and watch Family Matters. We used to get together and watch Full House, get together and watch My Wife and Kids, get together and watch The Cosby Show. These were things that we would sit down and watch as a family. That's why they're called family sitcoms, sit-down comedy. So it is that generation is gone. Like, that era is gone. The reason they call it television programming, I should say, is because they're programming you. It's not just a program on the screen. They're programming you. You used to see strong households come together. Even when you look at things like Good Times, where they were broke, but they held it together. They made it work. They made it happen in America. And then when you see the shift in television programming, then you're going to start seeing the shift in programming, not the program, but in the behaviors of people in society. So when you look at like when they start to make dads look dumb, dads have always been like the funnier, goofier ones in the house. And throughout all the generations, that's always been the thing, right? Even in the Cosby Show, like Bill Cosby there, well, I guess Huxtable. Why was it the Cosby Show when their name were Huxtable? Anyway, when you look at the Cosby Show, Bill Cosby was the goofier one there. He was the goofy dad, whatever, but he was a strong father. He was a doctor. he was a professional with his goofy moments. And when you looked at the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Uncle Phil was goofy a lot of times, made a lot of dad mistakes. But when it came down to business, he was a lawyer, he was a judge, and everybody respected him, even though they might have cracked jokes on him here and there, because that's kind of the role of the father sometimes, is not just to be the disciplinarian, but sometimes to be the diffuser. You were the leader. And then you start to see a shift, even in, like, for example, The Simpsons. When you look at earlier seasons of The Simpsons, Homer Simpson was still kind of a dummy, but he had a much stronger role as a father. A lot of you guys don't know it. Go watch the old Simpsons with the old animation, not the new style animation. I'm talking about the old animation. He wasn't as dumb as he is in later seasons. They progressively made him dumber, progressively making him more stupid. And you look at Family Guy, Peter Griffin is a complete freaking idiot. And then you'll see that the fathers started to change. And then that perception went to reality. People started looking at dads as just, oh, big dummy. He's not a leader. He's dumb. He's goofy. He's a goofball, this, that, whatever. Men lost respect in the household. And I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but television programming really affects how people act in their day-to-day life. And now without sitcoms, without television programming, what do we have? Social media. And they say that these kids are being influenced by these social media personalities, but kids shouldn't be influenced by people on social media. One, children under the age of 18 shouldn't have social media, in my opinion. They should not. And if they do, parents should be monitoring it. They should have all the passwords. Your kids shouldn't know their own password for social media. They want to get in there, you log them in, and then you track everything, all the DMs, all the likes, comments, everything like that. You should be shielding your kids from the influence of social media, not reinforcing it. Because once you reinforce it, you start to get into a crisis like we have here. And I talked a little bit too much. Let's get back to this content creator right here.
Trying to heal their inner child,
Northwest is literally living out a lot of our dreams
at the expense of actual children. We need to talk about it. Let's get started with today's video. Hi, what's up? Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Melinda, and if this is your first time stumbling upon my channel or seeing my face, welcome. Feel free to hit that subscribe button down below to join this community, but like I will always say, you can make that decision at the very end of this video. But with all that being said, before we can even dive into the very significant issue of young girls looking way older than they actually are, we need to go back in time. Back in the mid-2000s and the early 2010s, being a kid, enjoying kid things, and most importantly, looking like a kid was encouraged. I'm an O2, so I'm amongst the target age demographic that corporations and companies spoiled growing up. Child-friendly forms of entertainment and preteen media existed at such a large scale. For example, the Disney franchise that dominated in the early 2000s up until the early 2010s, with a variety of popular TV shows and movies that left a lasting imprint on so many of us. As children, and especially as young girls, we had so many child stars to look up to. I mean, from Hannah Montana to Alex Russo in Wizards of Waverly Place, Raven in That's So Raven, Rocky and Cece in Shake It Up. I mean,
and all those girls looked like kids. They had their personalities. They had their own character arcs. They weren't like just goofy little dumb kids. They had their own struggles and everything like that, but they were kids at the end of the day. Kids going through kid struggles, and if they're teens or preteens, going through like regular things that preteens would go through, not the things that you guys see on social media right now. The stuff that we see is so outrageous. That's why I was actually talking about this the other day. Even when you look at like the TV shows that had to do with being a teenager, going to school and things like that, they've gotten progressively more outrageous. Like you have shows like Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, and if you know, you know that is top tier goated show. I watched Degrassi, right? Degrassi and Degrassi Next Generations, absolutely loved it. Shows like Zoe 101, absolutely loved it. And now you have shows like Euphoria. And I'm like, if this is what kids in school are going through nowadays, like whatever's going on in Euphoria, God bless them. Maybe therapy is the thing that's needed. A lot of it, because if Euphoria is a representation of what teenagers are going through now, holy smokes. I'm surprised there aren't more people. You know what? Let me not say that. Let's continue.
I mean, the list goes on and on. These ladies, just to name a few, inspired us and became a part of our blueprint to fashion, style, beauty, and sometimes even our personalities.
Squint and run. No, No, I don't run.
Some of us even played with Barbies and Bratz dolls. I was Team Bratz over here, and we watched their movies and series, allowing us to experience a whole other universe. Bratz may have been a little bit controversial with how they were styled, but as a young girl, I knew that dressing like Sasha would only come at a later period in my life. I was in no rush whatsoever. Back then, our version of doom scrolling was through teen magazines like Popstar, M Magazine, just to name a few. We read our horoscopes, did quizzes, gained the inside scoop on age-appropriate pop culture drama, and so on and so on. Fast forwarding to our preteen years, we shopped at the mall with friends looking for trendy outfits in our favorite.
Yeah, malls are dead. I went to the mall the other day just to get something to eat because I just came from the hospital, and there's a mall right there that I used to go to all the time. I walked in and it was a ghost town. I remember when we used to hang out there together. Now people go home and like, oh, go home and get on the game. What do you mean go home and get on the game? Man, we all gonna go to your house and play the game. What are you talking about? I'll bring my controller. We'll go play split screen Call of Duty or go split screen Halo. We go home. What? People don't hang out with each other no more. You don't get a chance to be a teenager. Everybody's life is online. Video game. We used to go to people's houses to play video games. Somebody come over like, I got that Madden, I got that Halo, I got that Call of Duty. You got to put the disc in. No digital download. You didn't have to pay for an extra 200 gigabytes to download Call of Duty, and then you guys could just play. We've lost that social aspect. We've lost that community, and we've lost a lot of it. She's mentioning the malls here, and I know that I've gone on a bit of a few side tangents here, but this is a representation of what's going on in the entire world. Is the fact that we've lost the plot. We've lost it all. We are not a society like we used to be. We used to be a great nation. And now we're going down the drain. Like these things are dropping, like society as a whole is dropping faster than Donald Trump's approval rating. And I think that the way that girls dress is just a representation of the times. It's a representation of what's going on social media. Everybody sees what's going on social media. You want to live like them because these girls on social media that are dressing scantily are getting attention. And if you know anything about kids as a whole, but especially young girls, attention is damn near like gold. And so people are giving them attention. People are giving them attention at an age that they shouldn't be getting that kind of attention. They're getting looks that they shouldn't be getting. Men are giving them money. Men are likes, comments, so beautiful. Brother, she's going to prom. What do you mean so beautiful? Now, I know that you could be like, that's so beautiful. It feels like my little cousin. I'd be like, oh, you look beautiful. I don't even think I'd say that to my cousin. I'd be like, man, you look amazing. You look great. Dress looks nice. Like, I wouldn't actually say all that because it's kind of odd. They're kids, but they're getting this attention. That's why I don't think they should be allowed on social media under the age of 18, me personally. But let's continue.
Teen stores. Here in Canada, the place to be was Garage Clothing, and it strictly targeted the youth. They even went as far as selling candy at checkout. However, today, a lot of these stores have rebranded to reach an older audience, or they've gone completely bankrupt.
Flayers has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy again.
I love Garage, but what the actual fuck are they doing? Like, has anyone seen, like, the poses the models do and like how overly sexualized everything is? Like, children shop here.
However, as they say, all good things come to an end, and our favorite shows were slowly ending, wrapping up their final seasons like Hannah Montana, Sweet Life on Deck, and Wizards of Waverly Place. Some of our favorite stars were also ready to embark on their own journeys and break out of the Disney contract and break loose from the Disney image. Therefore,
I knew she was gonna mention Hannah Montana. I didn't want to cut it off. But Miley Cyrus is one of the first, not one of the first, but she's one of the most drastic examples of trying to get away from that good girl image. She tried to get as far away from that as possible. I remember she dropped that weird, like, twerking video, and she, wah, and let me see it, wah. You guys know the video. She's wearing that like a gray bunny suit or something like that. It was the weirdest thing. She tried to get so far away from that image, almost making it seem like that childish image was bad. And it wasn't necessarily bad, but I get it from an artist's perspective. A lot of times when people leave these networks like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, things like that, or if they're on a sitcom and they played the good girl, they have a hard time getting other roles. To get typecasted because people are like, you're Hannah Montana, you're the good girl, you're Miley Hope Cyrus. We don't want to see you on screen as the bad girl with the skimpy dress on, this, that, whatever. So what do? They try to remove themselves from that image that they had, but not realizing that these little kids that watch them see their evolution, and they see like, okay, being a good girl ain't cool. I'm not gonna be the good girl neither. I don't want that. I want to be like Miley Cyrus, twerking to a stupid song in black and white. Go find the video, boy. If I could find it, I'd play it. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is.
You won.
What? Oh, get. Let's get back to the video.
We started clinging to YouTube a little bit tighter for entertainment. Eventually, in the early 2010s, social media was growing rapidly and gaining the attention of the upcoming wave of preteens, most notably Instagram. I was class of 2020, so I was starting high school in 2015. I know. Crazy. And for many of us, we could finally relate to our favorite child stars, and we went into this new chapter of our lives feeling ready. And now, back in the present day of 2026, Disney Channel, as we once knew it, has ended and continues to have a serious decline in ratings and views, barely impacting today's youth.
From 2014 to 2023, Disney Channel's average number of daily viewers in the US has dropped from 1.96 million to 130,000.
As a 23-year-old, I'm sitting here impacted. That was my childhood. And instead of watching child-friendly media, preteens nowadays are watching mature content like Love Island, or watching streams and streamers that don't always promote age-appropriate behaviors.
Yeah, them streamers is kind of wild. Your kid shouldn't be watching those streamers. Like, your 14-year-old kid shouldn't be watching DDG and all them other people. Like, cause not that there's anything wrong with those channels. I love DDG. I love the Phase Boys. I don't think they're together anymore. I love all these channels. I don't personally partake in them. I just know them from clips, and they look like they're having a good time. They look like they're having fun. Sometimes the things that they promote aren't the best. Like Kai Cenat, I think one time had Nicki Minaj on his screen, on his stream, and your little girl shouldn't be watching nothing involving Nicki Minaj at all. We shouldn't be giving these kids iPads. And sometimes I understand, like parents have told me, like, look, sometimes it's the only thing that can get them to shut up and sit down. And I get it. I don't really get it because I don't have children. But when you give your kid access to the internet, you're giving them access to the world. And the world is treacherous. The world is evil. The world is nasty, and you give them the world. The iPad, this right here, this is the world. I need you guys to understand that. So why it's called the World Wide Web, WWW, for those of you who don't know what that stands for. You give your kids the world, and then it's nothing but treachery on there. There's very little positive stuff. Let me not say there's very little. There's a lot of positivity on the internet. You could learn, you could grow, you could start a business. They can really enrich their minds. And also, your kids better not be watching Love Island. You better not. That brain rot. I don't think anybody should be watching those reality shows. Like I mentioned, there's no more sitcoms, just reality shows. Growing up, the sitcoms were life. I couldn't wait for Family Matters to come on because I wanted to see Steve Urkel. For the longest time, I didn't even know it was called Family Matters, even though it said it on the screen. We was like, oh, the Steve Urkel show is on. Foreigners, we didn't speak much English, but yeah, no, absolutely, no.
Always promote age-appropriate behaviors.
Ghettohood and being like a cringe teen really died with this era of social media. Like, I hadn't realized how much social media content used to be so deep rooted in like humor and skits and almost like childhoodness until you compare it to like the social media landscape now. No wonder the little girls are trying to be adults and like ransacking Sephora, turning into these most like aesthetic little consumeristic beings.
Staying in grown people's business and being influenced by behaviors they shouldn't be.
And didn't I fucking tell y'all was children watching Love Island with us this season?
Love Island got y'all losing your mind.
And not only is there no entertainment left for them, but TikTok has taken over with 1 billion users as of 2022 and is now acting as a primary news source for kids ages 12 to 15.
Primary news source is TikTok? Boy, we are cooked. We are cooked. You know, every generation says about the generation after them. Like, boy, this generation is cooked. No, I think they had it right. I think every generation is a little bit more cooked than the one before it. And we're reaching the point where we overcooked, we baked, we damn near burnt. Like, it's bad. And side note, is that Tony Chopper I see back there? You anime fan? I'm gonna subscribe to your channel too, shorty. Like, I'm a big fan. But yeah, man, social media should not be where kids get their media from. They should not be where they get their news from. Because on social media, people have the ability to turn news into idealism or ideologies. They don't push the news. They tell you guys what they want you to feel. Hell, what I'm doing right now is pushing the ideology. But the ideology I'm pushing is that kids should be kids and shouldn't be on social media. And another thing that social media ruined, things like TikTok ruined, and is the system of friends to followers. See, when I was growing up, my first social media platform was MySpace. We didn't have like smartphones. So I got on MySpace on my computer, see what some of my friends have posted, maybe, you know, comment on something my friend did. If they posted a picture, cool. And after that, it was Facebook. Facebook was like MySpace, but a little bit better. Some would say worse because you couldn't add like custom skins and you couldn't put music in the background. We were coding at like 12 years old. We were coding. You used to go find the leak, copy it, put it on your MySpace page, and you get a custom skin, a custom wallpaper, music playing in the background. It was dope. Couldn't delete Tom as your friend. That was weird. And then we went over to Facebook, cleaner UI, you know, cleaner user interface. It was dope. It was for professionals. I remember being a kid, they were like, Facebook is more for like college kids. It was college level social media. Then came Twitter. Twitter was like, yeah, followers. Yeah, you don't have to follow anybody back. And then people realized that they could influence others, hence influencers. Even when it came to like Instagram at first started as a photography page and photography app, I should say. And to me, it's still a photography app. I actually have a photography page on there. You guys should go check it out. I'll leave it down there below. And you used to just take pictures on your phone because you couldn't upload. You took a picture with your phone, you know, put whatever filter you want on it. I went with Nashville all the time. And then you uploaded it. People could like and people could comment. There was still this system of followers instead of friends, but at the very least, it was contained. It was very real because people were living in the moment. Somebody posted something, that was them living life in that moment, right? They weren't super curated or anything like that. The only way you'd have a really nice photo on there is if you had a really nice phone. And then something changed. They allowed DMs, they allowed videos, they allowed uploads. First, you could only upload like a 15 or like 30-second video. Now they're 10 minutes long. And then when you look at TikTok, TikTok was fun at first. Fun fact, before TikTok was TikTok, it was an app called Musical.ly where people could do lip syncing. And I had one of those pages. We do like the lip syncing videos. It was fun. Eventually turned to TikTok. Same thing, fun lip syncing videos, people dancing. I can't remember the last time I seen a new TikTok dance. Everybody's a damn politician, an influencer, luxury, starting a business, telling you to start your LLC, a fitness content creator, all that stuff. And it's like, yo, what happened? This app used to be fun. It's not fun anymore. It's just influence, no fun.
Scrolling is at an all-time high and our attention spans are at an all-time low, and these preteens and young girls are being bombarded by constant beauty and fashion trends.
How to know if you're a deer, bunny, fox, or cat pretty.
With the messaging always being about how to glow up. No one is truly teaching kids anymore to love themselves, to enjoy their young years, and to embrace their natural selves. And everyone is in a rush to age, to be perceived as mature, and to act grown. And who better to mimic on the internet to achieve this besides grown people, because we are now their direct influences. With nowhere else to look to, they copy our mannerisms, the way we speak, the way we joke, the way we dress, the way we style ourselves, and all of the above. And the truth is, that's because they have no age-appropriate it girls to look up to.
That's a big thing. I think they have, you know, you have like Zendaya. Zendaya was never out there like that, but Zendaya was never like, as far as my knowledge, as far as I know, she was never like on Disney Channel or anything like that. She was always like big time actor, in my opinion. So she's right. The kids don't have anybody really to look up to, at least not the girls. Like boys, it's a little bit different because we kind of just look up to like athletes and dudes in the WWE who are also athletes, by the way. So we don't look at the men on social media and necessarily want to be like them. And if we do, it's dudes who are like successful. They have nice cars. They are flying across the country. They have a lot of women around them, which isn't a positive thing. But dudes who get on the internet, like young boys are influenced by men who want to be more like productive, be more successful, and be more appreciated by the world. Whereas girls, they following the girls who just want attention. And attention is a drug and it's for sale. And they're selling it. They're selling it and people are buying it. And it's crazy to me because it doesn't have to be like this. We could do better than this. We've done better than this. but it's going to start with people removing themselves from social media, removing their children, I should say, from social media. And when you criticize, or when you get criticized, you have to accept the criticism. When people are like, yo, you ain't got to be, showing your butt cheeks on social media all the time. You could say, or like people were saying things like, why does it matter to you what I post? Mind your business. If you don't like it, just scroll. It's like, there's kids on this app, yo. There's kids. And this is where it does affect young boys, because this is how young boys get addicted to adult content and porn and things of that nature. But it affects the girls because they see how the boys are affected to porn, and they see how these women are living based on the boys that are affected to porn. And it's a stupid cycle. We're on this ridiculous hamster wheel of people like chasing attention, people being on the internet, seeing things that they shouldn't be seeing, responding to things that they shouldn't be responding, being flooded with information that they shouldn't be flooded with. I'm sorry, sometimes I mumble a little bit. I'm working on my enunciation and my articulation, so I apologize if I mumble a little bit and stumble across my words. But the fact of the matter is, social media is so detrimental, and it's so surprising to me how social media is at the core root of so many things, whether it's mental health, whether it's how these girls are dressing, whether it's finances, whether it's politics. Social media is at the core root of a lot of issues. Kind of makes you wonder why it's still allowed to exist.
They only got the baddies on the internet.
There are no like Disney it girls. Like, who are the it girls? There are none, because the tweens they don't have their own role models, and I think it's really, really sad.
And they have.
I'm so happy I saw a Black woman. I seen a couple now talking about how this isn't the best thing to do, because at the beginning there were a few of them who were on the side of these girls saying that, yeah, they should just do whatever they want. So I'm so happy to see that there are some out there who are like not falling into this propaganda, who are saying that this isn't cool.
No role models to look up to act as the blueprint the way we had it. All they have left is to follow trends that grown women have created and popularized, like, for example, the lingerie scandalous birthday shoots. This became a trend amongst grown women, and it was normalized, and unfortunately, young girls saw this and ran with it. And yes, unfortunately, minors were trying to recreate this birthday shoot concept. Even for an 18th birthday, the ripe age of 18, I still think it's kind of weird. Hot take.
And now that we're out of high school, so y'all can't judge me for this, why in the world were y'all in lingerie for your 18th birthday shoot? That was not normal.
Grown women obviously have every right to do as they please and to present themselves however they feel like it on the internet. But of course, young girls are extremely impressionable, and there's no surprise that they are going to want to follow in grown women footsteps, and nobody seems to be telling them otherwise. With social media always pushing this illusion of perfection, nowadays we have high schoolers going to school dressed to the nines. Young girls.
You know what I didn't see in any of those videos? A backpack. I've heard this trend before too. Like, girls aren't going to school in backpacks no more. Just purses, sometimes big old tote bags. Like, they don't look like kids should look. And you know something that's like really bothersome to me? It's that if men are telling women like, yo, you shouldn't dress your girls like that, you're over-sexualizing your girls, the women will flip the script on you and tell you, well, you're the weirdo for looking at a little girl like that. We're not. Men are not. They're trying to tell you that there are men out here that will. There are men out here that will victimize your kids. There are men out here that will victimize your nieces and your daughters and all these things. And we're trying to protect you from that. These little girls don't need to be exposed to those kinds of eyes at such a young age. Even in the schools they go to, you can't trust these teachers. I grew up in a Roman Catholic church. I don't have to say any more than that. So just because men are telling you that you're over-sexualizing these girls, that doesn't mean that that's because that's how they see them. They know that's how the world will see them. And a lot of these women, I feel like, look at these little girls as like they're living through them. I didn't get to do all the whole stuff when I was a kid, so I'm gonna let my daughter do all the whole stuff. And I'm gonna call it what it is, it's whole stuff. So you doing, 304 behavior because your mama let you do it, because your mama wasn't allowed to do it. Because her mama told her, like, you ain't about to leave my house looking all fast. You're not about to leave my house looking crazy, have these grown men looking at you like that. Somebody will snatch you up. And with all the human trafficking going around, women like to talk about how girls are going missing. Women are being snatched up. So much human trafficking. Men are so dangerous. Men are so dangerous, but we're gonna allow our daughters to walk out the house looking like something that these men are gonna want to snatch up. Like, where's the sense in that? There's a lot of cognitive dissonance here, And we need to start being honest with ourselves with how we like see these little girls. Men see the little girls and see the potential risks, whereas women look at them and be like, I wish I could have lived like that, so I'm gonna let you live like that. Absolutely crazy to me. This is not okay. This is not something that should be perpetuated. This is not something that should continue. Go and watch the rest of the video on her page. I'm gonna link it down below. I love you. I care about you guys. This is the Revolutionary Army. The revolution will not be televised. We are withdrawing from all the BS going on in the world, and be easy.